this thing.
Mr. Speaker, will you please call the House to order?
The House will come to order. In the absence of clergy, we will pause for a moment of silence. Visitors are invited to join the members in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A quorum being present, the clerk will read the Journal of Friday, March 4th. Mr. Morelli.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to dispense with the further reading of the Journal of Friday, March 4th, and that the same stand approved.
Without objection, so ordered. Mr. Morelli.
Yes, thank you, sir. In just a moment, I'll detail for the members what our schedule for the day is, but let me begin with a couple of historical notes on what has happened throughout the years on March 7th. For instance, in 1981, Congress passed a resolution at the request of President Reagan declaring that the week beginning March 7th, 1982, be proclaimed the first nationally celebrated Women's History Week, which ultimately led to the designation of March as Women's History Month. 5 years later, I note that we will take up a resolution on this, and some members want to be heard, but I wanted to acknowledge that. And also, Mr. Speaker, just acknowledge and ask members to say prayers for the memory of First Lady Nancy Reagan, who passed over the weekend. On this day 90 years ago, the first transatlantic telephone call was made, connecting telephone lines from London, England to New York City. And on this day in 1927, the United States Supreme Court ruled their decision in the case of Nixon versus Herndon, striking down a 1923 Texas state law which banned African Americans from voting in the Texas primaries, deeming it unconstitutional. So with that as our context historical, let me give our schedule for the day. Members have on their desks a main calendar. There are 17 new bills, which you'll see for the first time. Calendars number 412 to 428. After any introductions and housekeeping, we will begin our work today on consent, beginning with calendar number 412. Once we've completed consent on the new bills on the calendar, we will continue to consent where we left off last week at calendar number 208. Members should be aware that the following committees will be called off the floor: Consumer Affairs and Corporations. So members of those two committees be on the lookout for announcements to that in that regard. Majority members should be aware that there will be a need for a Democratic conference once our work on the floor has been completed, and I will continue to consult with my colleagues in the minority if they have any conference needs later in the day. So with that as a general outline, Mr. Speaker, I note there are a number of introductions, and it would be appropriate to take up introductions and housekeeping at this time.
Certainly, Mr. Morelli. On a motion by Mr. Engelbright, page 32, calendar number 252, bill number 6644C, amendments are received and adopted. For the purposes of an introduction, Ms. Corwin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to interrupt the proceedings. I am so fortunate today to have a group of high school seniors here in the chamber visiting. They are from Barker High School, which is on the Lake Ontario shoreline, almost all the way over to Niagara Falls. So this morning, many of them woke up and got on a bus at 6 a.m. Some of the kids just stayed up all night and jumped on the bus, so they're obviously very tired. But they've been a joy to have here visiting today. They've learned all about New York State government. They met with many of our colleagues and are learning quite a bit about the legislative process. There are 44 students all in. We only have about half of them with us at the moment. The other half are in the Senate and hopefully will be over shortly. But this group is accompanied by Tim Daly. He is the chaperone in charge. So if you could please extend the cordiality of the House to Barker High School seniors. Thank you.
Certainly. On behalf of Ms. Corwin, the Speaker, and all the Members, we welcome you here to the New York State Assembly. We extend to you the privileges of the floor. We hope that this day will be instructive in relationship to the operations of state government. We appreciate that you have taken the time and the early morning trip to come and visit us. We hope that this has been a great day for you. Thank you so very much. Mrs. Tinney for an introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my honor to interrupt your proceedings to make a couple of very special introductions. First, in the back, we have the superintendent of Delaware Academy, a beautiful little school in Delhi, New York, and his name is Jason Thompson. He's a wonderful guy and a very innovative, wonderful public servant, and grateful to have him here. Joining Superintendent Thompson is also Bill Christensen, who is the superintendent of Sydney Central School District, and with him is the assistant superintendent, Corey Green, and they're here advocating on behalf of our schools and hoping that we have a great program for them this year and do well with them in the budget. I also want to add one other introduction. I'm doing this on behalf of also of Assemblywoman Aileen Gunther, and we have Michael Mingo, and he is a music teacher at Tri-Valley Central School, which is way down in Sullivan County. He's also joined by Dan McLonnell and Eric Awa, who are also of Liberty Central School District, and they're here joining us and advocating on behalf of our students and our music program. So I just wanted to know if you could extend the cordialities of the House and welcome them here to our proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Certainly. On behalf of Ms. Tinney, Ms. Gunther, the Speaker, and all the members, we welcome these education professionals here to the New York State Assembly. We extend to you the privileges of the floor. We appreciate that you've taken the time out in your busy schedules to come and share with us. We hope that your efforts in Albany today will lead for improved education in the state of New York. Thank you so very much. Mr. Crespo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity to introduce a couple of guests that are in the chamber, including the young lady sitting to your right. But first, I wanted to acknowledge Dr. Gladys Cruz, Ms. Lisette Lopez, and Mr. Matt Sloan, who are in the back of chamber. They are with the Angelo del Toro Puerto Rican and Hispanic Youth Leadership Institute, which for the last 26 years has been training and educating and preparing young Latino students from every corner of the state in the issues of leadership and policy and politics. And they come together during every Somos conference to host a mock session, which will be held this coming March 30th, right here in the chamber. This program has done an outstanding job giving opportunities to young Latino students throughout the state. And one of those students is with us as well this afternoon. Her name is Ana Samaniego. She's standing to your right, this young lady whose family came from Panama, found their way to Texas, and then later right here to the Albany region. She's a student at Bethlehem Central High School in Assemblywoman Fahey's district, and wants a future in policy and in politics, and was selected by her peers to serve as speaker for the mock session that will take place on Sunday the 30th. We invite all of the members to witness the great work that these students do, and we want to not only give her the opportunity you have extended for her to see firsthand the work you do, Mr. Speaker, but also so that she could run a very smooth debate during the mock session as well. So we just want to extend the cordiality to the House, to this amazing young woman and the speaker of the mock session.
Certainly. On behalf of Mr. Crespo, the Speaker, and all the members, Madam Speaker, we welcome you here to the New York State Assembly, and we're pleased that you are joining us on the rostrum. And to those officials from the Angelo del Toro Institute, thank you so much for the work that you do. Having been a member who served with Angelo, it is so great to see his memory being enshrined by the great work that you do for our young people across the state. Thank you so very much. Always know that we will be with you. Thank you. Mr. Kern.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to recognize two prominent students from Western New York, Ben and Allison. They're here today with the New York State School Music Association Day in Albany to advocate for the importance in the budget of spending for music In addition to that, I'd like to recognize their dad, Steve, Mike, if you could stand also, and Allison, especially because her grandfather was the South District Council member. I worked for him for 2 years, a great and honorable official from Western New York. So once again, it's an honor to have them here today. They are the only 2 students from Western New York that are going to be participating and performing. Today they already did, and then tonight there will be another performance. So they serenaded me today in my office. It really was a good part of my day. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Certainly, on behalf of Mr. Kearns, and in recognition that music will soothe the savage beast, we appreciate that you serenaded him this morning. We welcome you here to the New York State Assembly. We are pleased to provide you with the privileges of the floor. We hope this has been a great day so far, and we look forward to hearing you this evening. It is always a delight to hear young people come together and make music. Thank you so very much. Mr. Morelli.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to acknowledge a member of local government here in the great state of New York from the Lewiston Town Board. We are joined by a member of that town board, but more importantly, in some respects, she happens to be the better half of the Mr. and Mrs. Soretto combination. Beth Soretto, John's wife, has joined us in the chamber, and Beth tells me, although she has been to Albany for State of the State messages, never seen the Assembly operate in person. So this is her first time watching us deliberate. I hope we meet her expectations, but we're very excited to have Beth. She's a great friend, and I know John is very proud to have her in the chamber. Say, if you please extend the cordialities of the House to Beth Soretto.
Certainly, on behalf of Mr. Morelli and your husband, we welcome you here to the New York State Assembly. We are always pleased to have family here with us, and it's long overdue for you to pay this visit. We're happy that you've arrived, though, and always be free to come back. The Assembly is a family, no matter what parts of the state we represent. Thank you so very much. Ms. Bashak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to interrupt the proceedings for the purpose of an introduction. Today, I have the honor of introducing the Women Builders Council. As chair of the Oversight Committee of MWBE's Minority Women Business Enterprise, it is with great pleasure that I introduce these smart, dynamic, job-creating women who work hard to break the economic barriers around gender in the construction industry as it relates to all types of services so that gender disparity gap is closed. The Women Builders Council is an organization which was established 2004, and it is the leading association representing women in the greater New York region's construction industry on several fronts: legislative advocacy, new business development, professional development with a special focus on leadership. The Women Builders Council has done an extraordinary job in empowering women and promoting diversity throughout the construction industry that addresses the barrier that prevent women from growing as policymakers and industry leaders. They have instituted industry forums and programs to build a pipeline of young women and minorities, college students, and mid-managers waiting to become business owners and leaders in the industry. We have with us today Mrs. Deborah Bradley, who's the president of the executive board of the Women's Builders Council, as well as Renee Sachs, who serves as the executive director of Women's Builders Council. Other members of the board who are here with us today is Kristen Bacha. We have Damaris Alley, Stephanie Burns, Kristen DiNapoli, Gloria Kemper, Lori Manning, Jennifer Carey, Lorraine DeLangelo, Nancy Jean DiNapoli, Felice Faber, Julie Harris, Andrew Nelson, Elizabeth Velez, and Sandra Wilkin. As we celebrate Women's History Month, we do so with women who carry toolboxes and hammers by their side, as well as women who mold iron, hammer steel, and pour concrete. Women who are lead engineers, architects, and most importantly, women who are job creators. As a former engineer and a former board member to a construction nonprofit, Habitat for Humanity, I am thrilled to introduce the Women Builders Council, who will continue to bring about attention to new economic development issues and women's resiliency. Please join me in welcoming our guest today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Certainly. On behalf of Ms. Bachat, the Speaker, and all the members, we welcome this dynamic group of women here to the State Assembly. You are extended the privileges of the floor. This is the People's House. It is the place that you own. We will always work in the interests of expanding opportunities for women across this state. Thank you so very much. Ms. Fahey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to rise to join my colleague, Mr. Crespos, in welcoming Anna from sitting next to you there, serving as the Madam Speaker for the day. She is a Bethlehem High School student, and I'll get the chance to see her, I think, as well at the end of the month. So I just wanted to join in congratulating her on this and wishing her all the best. Bethlehem High is one of the best high schools in the state, and it's a real tribute to think that she will be helping to run the day at the end of the month, the Somos El Futuro Day. So thank you, and just wanted to join Mr. Crespos.
So noted, Ms. Fahey. Thank you very much. Ms. Corwin for another introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to interrupt the proceedings as well. The other members of the Clarence High School class are now here today. They are up in the gallery. If you want to stand, that would be great so everyone can see you. Thank you. Yes, this is the Barker High School senior class, the rest of them. They were over in the Senate previously, and they're here visiting with us again. I can't reiterate how exciting it is for being from Western New York. So many people come to visit us, but yet it's so few from Western New York because it is a bit of a drive. But these are all terrific students. They asked a lot of very important questions, and I think they learned quite a bit today. So if you could please extend the cordialities of the House to them as well.
Certainly. On behalf of Ms. Corwin, the Speaker, and all the members, we welcome this group of students here to the New York State Assembly. We extend to you the privileges of the floor. We're happy that you have joined. Obviously, you've made Ms. Corwin happy today. I hope this is a great learning experience for all of you, and that one day you may come and share some of this responsibility with us. Thank you so very much. Mr. Morelli. No, you don't have to.
We'll just go right to that.
Mr. Morelli.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to now go to page 3 of the main calendar and begin with Assembly Resolution 1028 by Ms. Barrett. And I understand that the following resolution will have a number of speakers, including Ms. Lepardo.
The clerk will read.
Resolution number 1028, Mrs. Barrett.
Legislative resolution memorializing Governor Andrew M. Cuomo to proclaim March 15, 2016 as Agriculture Day in the state of New York in conjunction with the observance of National Agriculture Day.
Could we have a little quiet in the chamber, please? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 1029, Ms. Lepardo. Legislative resolution memorializing Governor Andrew M. Cuomo to proclaim March 2016 as Women's History Month in the state of New York.
Before we get to Ms. Lepardo and the resolution, I do want to take a time to give a moment of silence to two distinguished women. One is the former First Lady Nancy Reagan, who recently passed away. So I'd like members to stand and give a moment of silence for former First Lady Nancy Reagan. Thank you. And today we were just informed of the recent passing of Cornell President Elizabeth Garrett, who was the first woman to be president and the 13th president of Cornell University. And to many of you, as I took my non-New York City tour, I spent some time with Ms. Garrett, and I found her to be a remarkable woman who really cared about the students and cared about the relationship with New York as she was transplanted here from California. She really talked about how important it was to be here in New York and her dedication, and it's just so shocking that here was, I spent some time with her, and we talked about all the plans that she had for Cornell University, and just to find out that at the tender age of 52, she was taken from us. So I'd like to have a moment of silence for Elizabeth Garrett, the Cornell president. Thank you. No, she's gonna. Well, Donna's gonna do the resolution, so let me call on Deborah first. Ms. Glick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my colleagues for that recognition of somebody who came to New York State from
Excuse me, Ms. Glick. Can we have some quiet, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Beth came to New York State from, most recently from USC. She got her law degree at the University of Chicago. Brilliant, full of energy, so happy to come to New York and to Cornell. And I was there with you at, as was Ms. Lifton, who represents the Cornell community. And it is a loss to the Cornell community for sure, but it is also a loss to New York State because she was so forward-thinking and so full of wonderful notions about how Cornell could reach out to other schools, and that the higher education in New York State was truly our the crown in our, the jewel in our crown, and that we had real opportunities, particularly for, she was very happy that there were women representing both Cornell and chairing higher ed, and so I'm personally very bereft, and I appreciate that this body took a moment to recognize someone who was the first woman president of Cornell and who will be missed not just by the Cornell community, but institutions of higher learning around the country.
On the resolution, Ms. Lepardo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much for taking the time to recognize Elizabeth Garrett as the first woman president. It seems fitting and so sad that her passing occurs as we recognize Women's History Month in the chamber today. We're also recognizing tomorrow as International Women's Day. It's a global day to celebrate the social, economic, and political achievements of women across the world. As you know, New York is the birthplace of women's suffrage. The Legislative Women's Caucus, there are 54 of us in the Assembly and the Senate, 54 women representing areas across the state. The Women's Caucus honors the legacy of Seneca Falls by advancing policies to improve the lives of women. I'd like to invite all of you to visit our display down in the Legislative Office Building. You'll see a quote there. It's very meaningful to many of us from Susan B. Anthony. She said, "There never will be complete equality until women themselves help to make the laws and elect lawmakers." 25% of the state legislature are women. And when women serve, women's voices are most definitely heard. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Ms. Corwin on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to thank you and all the women in this chamber who have come together to speak with Women's History Month and to highlight the importance of women and their contributions to our state. I also want to say thank you as well for a moment of silence for First Lady Nancy Reagan. She came into power with her husband at a time when there really weren't a lot of opportunities for women outside the home. And I think Nancy Reagan was one of the first women who showed just how much strength and influence you can have even behind the scenes when you're dealing with people in power. She had elegance, she had grace, she was funny, she was an intelligent woman, and I think she held herself as a true example of how women can make a difference even behind the scenes. But with Women's History Month, this is a very important resolution because we want to make sure that we acknowledge everything that women do. And it's great because it's one of the few opportunities that we have women from both sides of the aisle, from both chambers, who come together to honor this resolution. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak on this, and I thank all my colleagues for their yes vote on this resolution.
All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 1030, Mrs. Joyner. Legislative resolution memorializing Governor Andrew M. Cuomo to proclaim March 2016 as Nutrition Month in the state of New York in conjunction with the observance of National Nutrition Month.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 1031, Ms. Malliotakis. Legislative resolution memorializing Governor Andrew M. Cuomo to proclaim April 2016 as Primary Immune Deficiency Diseases Awareness Month in the state of New York.
On the resolution, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The resolution is adopted. Mr. Morelli.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I understand there are a number of additional introductions, but before we do that, if I could ask members of the Consumer Affairs Committee to move to the Speaker's conference room. Mr. Dinowitz is prepared to convene that meeting. Members of the Consumer Affairs Committee.
Consumer Affairs Committee, Speaker's conference room. Mr. Dinowitz is leading the way. Please follow him. Mr. DiPietro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for letting me interrupt these proceedings.
One minute, Mr. DiPietro. Members, we really need to settle down so we can begin the work of the day. We can't do it over your conversations. Shh. Sir, proceed.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For an introduction, I have with me a couple guests today, Jim Cummings and Gary Skog. They're out of Western New York area, and they're here advocating on behalf of needy seniors and the health care needs of those seniors. And I know a couple seniors that actually are involved with this, and it is a great organization, so I just want to just to say thank you to them, and I'd like you to offer the cordialities of the House to them. Thank you.
Certainly, on behalf of Mr. DiPietro, the Speaker, and all the members, gentlemen, we extend to you the privileges of the floor. We commend you on the work that you're doing for seniors in your community. It is something that is dear to many of our hearts. Thank you so very much. Continue that work, and always know that you're welcome here. Mr. Hawley for an introduction.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a brief comment on Women's Month. My great aunt, Ella Hawley Crossan, I'm very, very proud to say, is on the plaque on the first floor in the state with Susan B. Anthony. She was very, very involved in that movement. And my great-grandmother, Hawley, was one of the first women ever elected to a school board in the state of New York. So we're proud of what those great women have done, and women continue to do today all across not only New York State, but across the nation. It also gives me great pleasure to introduce from Brockport High School. They'll be standing momentarily. From Brockport High School, we have Ben Monticelli, Benji Whitman, and their parents. They're here for the NISMA Vocal Jazz Ensemble on behalf of the students in New York State, and they'd like to thank everyone for their support of music education in the state of New York. Thanks so much, Mr. Speaker. Please offer them the cordialities.
Certainly, on behalf of Mr. Hawley, the Speaker, and all the members, we welcome both students and parents here to the New York State Assembly. We extend to you the privileges of the floor and here, and happy to hear that jazz, the truly American invention, is being celebrated and played all the way up in Brockport. Thank you so very much. We're happy to have you. Mr. Morelli, who looked an awful lot like Mr. Cusick for a minute.
I did the right thing. I moved him out of the way quickly.
Nothing like power, Mr. Morelli. Nothing like power.
Let's move quickly along to page 53 of the main calendar and begin consenting with calendar number 412 by Mr. Dinowitz.
Clerk will read. Gentlemen, gentlemen, gentlemen.
Assembly 116A, calendar number 412, Mr. Dinowitz, an act to amend the judiciary law and the labor law.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 1121, calendar 413, Mr. Dinowitz, an act to amend the general business law.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 1230A, calendar 414, Mr. Cahill, an act to amend the insurance law.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 2946, calendar 415, Mr. Titone, an act to amend the civil practice law and rules.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 4388, calendar 416, Mr. Dinowitz, an act to amend the labor law and the education law.
Laid aside.
Assembly 4458, calendar 417, Mr. Skoufis, an act to amend the insurance law.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 4619, calendar 418, Ms. Simotas, an act to amend the general business law.
Bill is laid aside.
Assembly 5039, calendar 419, Mr. Perry, an act to amend the general business law.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 7537A, calendar 420, Mr. Kaminsky, an act to amend the insurance law.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 7879, calendar 421, Mr. Gant, an act to amend the Family Court Act.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 8566A, calendar 422, Ms. Simon, an act to amend the Public Health Law.
The bill is laid aside.
Assembly 9129, Calendar 423, Ms. Glick, an act to amend Chapter 537 of the laws of 2008.
Read the last section.
This act shall take effect immediately.
Clerk will record the vote. Mr. Morelli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to remind members this is our first vote of the day, and members in the chamber should cast their votes. And to those who are still trying to make their way over, I would encourage them to make it quickly for our first vote of the day.
First vote of the day, members. And, you know, and that's the House, right? So this is what all the members. This is, I know you do.